As of December 2025, the most recent confirmed official data for Cameroon's total public debt comes from September 2025 report by the Caisse Autonome d'Amortissement, the CAE. The total public debt stock stands approximately at 14,591 billion francs CFA, roughly 23.5 billion US dollars. The debt to GDP ratio stands at 43.9%. Well, this is below the CEMAC regional convergence limit of 70%. Let's have a breakdown of the debt as follows. As of September 2025, domestic debt stood at 4,246 billion francs CFA. This portion has risen significantly up to 15.5% year on year due to government's increased reliance on issuing treasury bonds and bills within the regional market to finance immediate liquidity needs. A look at the external debt stands at 10,345 billion francs CFA, estimated on based on the total minus the domestic. Now, the external debt constitutes the majority of portfolio largely owed to multilateral institutions like the IMF and the World Bank and bilateral creditors such as China. Recent loans in November, President Paul Biya ratified new loan agreements totaling 254 billion francs CFA. This includes funding for the Padija mining road project and the urban section of the Yaoundé-Simaleng Highway. These additions will likely push the year-end December figure slightly higher than September of 14,591 billion francs CFA benchmark when the final quarter four report is released early 2026. Of course, on the 17th of December, we saw another loan, 39 billion that will be taken from China. Let's look at the risk rating. Despite the debt load remaining sustainable in absolute terms, under 50% of GDP, the IMF and the World Bank classify Cameroon as a higher risk of debt distress. This classification is primarily due to liquidity challenges, meaning the country sometimes struggles to have enough ready cash to service its debt payment on time despite having the long-term economic capacity to handle the total amount. The government plans to keep debt ratio under 50% through 2026 to 2028 period, focusing on consensual loans with better terms and rather than expensive commercial borrowing. Now, this definitely has an effect on the taxpayers. What is the effect on the taxpayers as far as Cameroon that continue to borrow from the internal and as well as external actors, multilateral like the IMF and the World Bank, and creditors like China and other banks, international banks? Well, I will be taking these consequences of this borrowing on the local population and how the economy will look like in the next 2 years between 2026 and 2028.